Let's just admit it, we've been lying to ourselves. We wanted Anthony Edwards to be that guy, the swagger, the charisma, the highlight reel dunks. He gave us all the surface level cues of what a modern day superstar should be, the next Jordan, the next Kobe, the chosen one to fill the void left by fading legends, and we loved it. We still do. But the truth? He's not the next face of the league, because the real problem is the next face of the NBA isn't even human. Victor Wembanyama, Wemby, as we've started to call him like he's some cartoon character, is something else entirely. At 7'4" with an 8-foot wingspan, he doesn't just break the rules of basketball physics, he rewrites them. We're watching something unfold that the league isn't ready for, and maybe doesn't even want us to notice yet. A player so dominant, so all-encompassing, that the usual marketing machine doesn't know how to package him. Why? Because Wemby breaks everything: the positions, the matchups, the systems, and perhaps most importantly, the narratives. For decades, the NBA has thrived on stories. The underdog rising, the veteran finally getting his ring, the rivalry that divides cities, the archetype of the two-way wing, the explosive guard, the loyal big man. We love these stories because they feel human. They give us a hero to follow, a villain to hate, a team to root for. But Wemby? He's not a story, he's an anomaly. There's no good comparison for him. He's not Giannis with a jumper. He's not KD with better defense. He's not Gobert with handles. He's Wemby, a one-man glitch in the basketball matrix who's forcing us to rethink what the game even is. And if we're being honest, a lot of people, including the league's biggest voices, aren't ready to make that pivot. They keep clinging to Anthony Edwards because he feels comfortable. He looks like a star, talks like one, plays with fire. And don't get it twisted, Ant is special. He's earned the hype. He's a killer on both ends, and his rise has been nothing short of electric. He's got that gravity, that edge, that pull. But what happens when you drop him on the court with Wemby and he looks small? Because that's the uncomfortable reality we're walking into. This isn't just about stats, it's about what your eyes tell you. When you watch Wemby play, there are moments that just don't make sense, like when a 7'4" giant sprints the length of the floor, catches the ball in the corner, and drains a fadeaway three with a hand in his face, all in one motion. Or when he blocks a shot, recovers the loose ball, dribbles coast to coast, and finishes over two defenders without breaking stride. Those aren't highlight plays, that's just Tuesday for him. And here's the thing the league is slowly realizing: the only thing standing between Wembanyama and total dominance is time. Not development, not coaching, not teammates, just time. And maybe the lingering fear of injury that haunts all unicorns, but assuming health, we're talking about a player who's already doing things in year 2 that most big men never even attempt. Shooting 35% from 3 on volume, running pick and rolls as the ball handler, defending the paint like a prime Dwight Howard while switching onto guards like he's Kawhi Leonard in his prime. Who does that? And maybe more importantly, who stops that? Because that's what separates Wemby from everyone else. Not just what he can do, but the fact that there's no counter. You can't send a double, he's too tall and sees everything. You can't switch, he'll post your guard and fade over him. You can't go small, he'll block everything. And if you go big, he'll just stretch the floor until your defense collapses. So maybe it's time to stop pretending. Maybe it's time to stop lying to ourselves. Anthony Edwards might be the story we want, but Victor Wembanyama is the truth we can't ignore. And the scary part is, he's just getting started. There are basketball problems, and then there's Victor Wembanyama. Some players present matchup issues, others are walking buckets, some protect the rim like their life depends on it, and a rare few, can dominate both ends of the floor. But Wemby? He's not a problem you solve with strategy or matchups. He's a problem with no answer key. And the longer the league pretends he's just another star in the making, the more devastating the reality becomes. You know how people used to say Shaq was so dominant you had to foul him? That your only hope was to hack a Shaq and pray he missed his free throws? Wemby is the modern version of that nightmare, except you can't foul him. You can't slow him down, and you definitely can't outthink him. He's too smart, too long, too agile, too skilled, and this is the craziest part. He hasn't even hit a ceiling yet. We've never seen a player like this.
Let's talk raw numbers. In just his second season, Wemby is putting up all-time level stat lines: 22 points, 11 rebounds, 3.5 assists, nearly 3 blocks per game. He's shooting nearly 50% from the field and over 35% from 3. And these aren't low-volume stats padded on a bad team. He's dictating the outcome of games against elite-level competition. Think about this. How do you contest a jumper when the guy starts his shot at 10 feet in the air? You don't. You pray he misses. But Wemby doesn't just stand around and launch threes like a novelty act. He moves like a guard. He glides around screens. He attacks closeouts. He cuts to the rim. He runs the floor like a 6'4" shooting guard and finishes above the rim with such effortless grace it looks like a video game glitch. In one game against Washington, he dropped 50 points, including step-back threes, mid-post fades, and coast-to-coast dunks. That wasn't a fluke. That wasn't a he got hot night. That was a message, a statement, a preview of what's to come. And the scariest part? The game looked easy for him. In another game, Christmas Day in Madison Square Garden, the biggest stage, the brightest lights, the loudest crowd, and the toughest media glare, Wemby turned it into his personal playground. He dropped 42 points, 18 rebounds, and 4 assists. He hit shots that should be impossible for someone his size. Step-back threes fading into the Knicks bench, mid-air passes that looked like they belonged in an all-star skills challenge. And after every bucket, he stared down the crowd like a man who knows he's inevitable. You can hear the fear creeping into the commentary. They're going to have to double him earlier. They can't switch that matchup again. Why are they giving him that much space? Because they have no choice. And then there's the defense. You want to talk about a two-way player? Wemby erases possessions. Guards think they've beaten their man, only to see Wemby lurking in the paint like a shadow. Shooters get a clean look until a freakishly long arm swats the ball into the fifth row. Post players try to muscle him, only to find out that he has strength they didn't expect. His timing is surgical, his help side defense is elite, and he's still learning how to anchor an NBA defense. This is what makes him different. Most elite players come into the league with one clear skill: scoring, shooting, defense, playmaking, and then slowly over time, they expand their game. But Wemby is coming in with everything already installed. He's like a smartphone that ships with all the apps. You don't need to wait for the updates. He's ready now. And sure, people bring up the injury risk. It's the go-to counter for anyone uncomfortable with how dominant he already looks. What if his body breaks down, they say. And yes, it's fair to be cautious. We've seen giants fall apart before. Yao Ming, Kristaps Porzingis, Greg Oden. The history is sobering. But watch Wemby closely, and you'll notice something different. He doesn't move like those guys. He's not lumbering or stiff. He's not top-heavy or clunky. His footwork is polished. His landings are controlled. His hips are fluid. He moves with an economy that suggests he's built for this. The Spurs know this. That's why they're being careful, giving him the minutes ramp up, the load management, the controlled diet, the customized training. They're not just building around him, they're building him. And now let's talk about the Spurs, because this is where the league made a mistake. They let Victor Wembanyama fall into the hands of the most disciplined, patient, team-oriented franchise of the last 30 years. The same team that turned Tim Duncan into the blueprint. The same team that squeezed titles out of discipline, spacing, and player development. Now they have a generational cheat code, and they're not in a rush. They're playing chess while other teams play checkers. Already the pieces are falling into place. De'Aaron Fox is joining the mix. A lightning-quick point guard who can run the offense, collapse defenses, and kick out to Wemby for open threes or lobs. Castle's developing into a true two-way connector. Sohan is growing into a reliable role player with defensive versatility. The bench is deeper, the shooting is better, the defense is being retooled, but none of it matters without Wemby. He's not the future because of what he might become. He's the future because of what he already is. The NBA has had stars, superstars, icons, but it has never had this. And that's why no one wants to admit it just yet. Because admitting it means changing the conversation. It means giving up the old narratives. It means facing the truth. You can't stop Wemby. You can only delay the inevitable.